Feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, working non-stop but not seeing results? What if I told you that 80% of your results comes from just 20% of the effort you put in? Hello my friend, I'm Gamel, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, and how this simple mindset shift can help you get more done in less time. Especially if you are building a business, creating content, you're a student, or whatever productive work that you want to do. So what is the 80-20 rule? The 80-20 rule says this: 80% of your outcomes comes from just 20% of your input. It started with an Italian economist, Wilfredo Pareto, who discovered that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. But soon, people saw the same pattern everywhere, in business, in health, even in your daily habits. Let me tell you my story. When I started building my online business, I was doing everything: emails, designs, videos, editing, marketing, until I noticed something. Most of my results came from just a few key actions. Once I focused on those, my growth doubled and I got my time back. I was spending quite a long time editing my website, also trying to design new thumbnails for my videos, but then I was losing the most important part, is the power of the message and the delivery of the message. So I decided to focus on this 20% of how to really research my topics and to be able to deliver this message in the most concise and precise way. And once I started doing that, my videos were blowing without proper thumbnails or anything. I'm not saying thumbnails or designing your website is not important, but I got a lot of sales from my Instagram posts, more than any website can ever generate for me. So it's up to you for you to discover what is the 20% of the task in my life that is going to move the needle. The second story is my language learning journey. When I came to Turkey and I decided to learn Turkish language, it took me 6 months to master the Turkish language and to fully express myself. I was trying to do a lot of things, to read books, read the newspapers, but the truth of the matter was, my ability to just sit down, learn the sentence structure of the Turkish language, understand how the people think, and to look at the difference between the key main languages that I'm trying to transition from English to Turkish. And when I spend the 20% of my time to really and fully grasp what is happening between these two languages, my language learning skyrocketed. That led to me speaking Turkish in less than 6 months. Let's break this down to real practical examples. Number one, in business, 80% of your revenue often comes from 20% of your clients. So double down on those clients instead of chasing everyone. You are in a business that sells a $100 product and a $20 product. And for the $20 product, you will have to sell to 5 people to get the same amount of money like when you sell one of the $100. You realize that quite a lot of people are being drawn to this particular $100 product. But at the same time, a lot of people are also buying this. But you realize by calculation that actually you are not able to spend much time with the $100 because there are a lot of people coming for the $20. But at the end of the day, when you look at it properly, you are about to attract more quality clients. It will be greater for you to just let down on the $20 and then go ahead for the $100 that you realize that is what is actually bringing you more of your of your revenue, even though it sells few. So what if I could spend much time on this particular $100 product and get much more from that? You run a marketing agency and you make logos, you make designs, you create videos, you make short videos and long videos for people. But then you realize that most of your revenue is actually coming from people who are patronizing your thumbnail designs. You might be thinking that you're doing logos, you're taking higher prices for that, but people are actually coming to you for designing thumbnail, and they are doing thumbnails like 3 or 4 times per week. So in your particular case, you can actually specialize on the people that are coming to you for their thumbnail, because you realize that 20% of these few people are actually generating you the largest amount of revenue. So it makes more sense for you to really focus on those people, because that is the task that is going to generate you more income. In content creation, 20% of your videos bring in most of your views. Study what works and repeat the format. Most YouTubers today are known because of 2 or 3 videos that went viral. When you look at their accounts, you realize that some of them actually have just 3 or 4 videos which has gone into the millions. And these videos are the ones which have made them who they are today. Most of the other videos are within the thousands, but those videos were the key thing that brought them where they are. So it's up to you to also analyze your content creation, look at what works, and repeat those kind of actions. Of course, you're going to be creating other videos, but those are the 80% of activities you're doing. But when you focus on the 20%, then you can actually expand even faster. In studying and learning, 20% of steady techniques like active recall or speed repetition lead to 80% of learning. Use those and skip the fluff. Active recall and spaced repetition are some of the great learning methods which focus on you not forgetting the few things you've learned. Rather than going for the fluff of memorizing 100 things, it's all about I learned 5 things. Let me actively recall the things that I've done, and putting myself with spaced repetition of taking this chunk after the next are some of the greatest ways to actually master anything, including language, physics, math, and everything. You can also use the Feynman technique, which goes by the 4 processes where you learn, you close the book, you try to recall, make a summary, and then you go back to recall the things that you've not been able to capture. So such methods and such approaches where you're focusing on the 20% of the things that brings about the key success will lead to the 80% of the massive result that you're looking for. In health, you don't need 10 routines. Sleep, water, and 3 solid workouts is equal to 80% of your fitness. It's not all about the thousands of routines, but it's about the few routines that actually matter, like your sleep, water, and then the 3 days of workout in the gym or even by going for a walk. So now the question is, how can we apply the 80-20 rule in our lives? Here's how to put it in action right from today. Step 1. Identify your productive 20%. What are the few tasks that are providing you the best of result? Ask yourself, if you're a content creator, you're a student, you can find those activities that when you do, it moves the needles and it makes massive changes in your life or in your business or in everything that you're doing. Step 2, cut or delegate the rest. Stop wasting time on things that you can actually give to other people or on repetitive tasks. In my case, it was all about delegating maybe the video editing and then the thumbnail design to someone else. And in my business, when I'm doing a consultation as well, it is more important to me to actually prepare so I can give the client or my customer the best of services. In my consulting business, rather than actually spending time with a customer talking about what time they are free and trying to book them and trying to take money, it is more important to me to rather sit, research, understand the customer, go through their profile, understand what they need so I can really deliver. It was more important to me to actually deliver the best and quality of services than actually going to and fro with them, asking them the time to book and also the amount of money to take from them. So these are things that I could delegate so that I can focus on what I can do better by providing them the best of services. Then they understand that I really and truly understood them. And this has been the reason why I've skyrocketed in my business, because of proper testimonials. And anyone who worked with me actually felt that I really cared and I really delivered. Step 3, systemize the winners. Build a simple workflow around what works. Here is a simple question to ask yourself right away. What are the 3 things I do every week that truly move me forward? Everything else is probably noise. Here's a key recap. 80% of your success equals 20% of your actions. So you're supposed to find that 20%, double down, eliminate the rest, and repeat. Because the truth is, you do not have to hustle 24/7. You simply need to find the things which actually moves you forward, the things which actually makes the changes that are guaranteed to provide you the results. And those are mostly the few simple things that we are ignoring. It is all about focusing on the things that actually truly matter. It is quite easy for us to be distracted with thousands of activities which are actually not moving the needle. It is great to have a website. It is great to actually start a business trying to look for a partner, but maybe you don't need a partner. So your effort of trying to connect with people on LinkedIn, going to partnership and programs might seem very good to you, but actually it could be a waste of time. As a startup, as I started my online business, I started alone with just $5 with no team, and I was doing it alone. Why? Because I was focusing on not the 80% of things, but I was focusing on the 20% of things to pull out content more and show my expertise in that field that I'm in, and people are going to come. I started not with a website. The website would have been the 80% of tasks that I will have to do. But when I focus on the 20% of letting people understand that I can actually teach them something and posting content every day, my clients came to me not from my website, not from my email list, not from anywhere, but rather from my content through Instagram DMs. That is a 20%. And this led to me growing, developing, gaining enough money so I can now work on a website, so I can now work on the other stuff. So you are not supposed to start a journey by focusing on the whole process. You are supposed to start the whole journey by asking yourself today, what is the task that can truly move me forward, that will truly make a change that I can do today? Break that process into simple steps. When you break a process into steps and you see it has about 4 or 5 components, you've not broken it down properly. You still have to break it down to the list of things. A simple example I can give is, let's say you want to start by creating content. The first thing we should be talking about is create the account. If you don't have a Gmail account, create a new Gmail account, an email account for it, create the Instagram account. Then you can start to tell me about posting. Go to Canva, create the first post, post it. Stop thinking about, okay, what about SEO? How am I going to do this? What are the two-factor authentication that I have to have? My account needs to be protected. What is the name that I have to use? You can change the name at any time. But the most important thing that will get you to start is if you focus on the 20%, which is just getting started and doing the most important thing. Create the account, start posting the first one, learn from it, go to the professional insight. You'll begin to see what is working, what is not working. Don't go and buy a course to understand how to start social media or how to start Instagram. It is great, but do what you can do, the 20% that is in your hands. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and share this video with someone who might need it. It is word of mouth and support like this that keeps the channel growing. So don't forget to support the channel. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.